students, in this class we learn about how cardiovascular system is regulated and what are the different cardiovascular regulatory centers. Why this regulation is required? So this cardiovascular regulation is important to increase blood supply to the active tissues, to increase or decrease the heat loss from the body, and to maintain blood flow to all the organs, and also to maintain blood supply to vital organs during emergencies such as hemorrhage. So how this circulatory mechanisms work, how the circulatory adjustments are done. So this is mainly done by alteration of the arteriolar resistance. Second one, volume of the blood stored in the veins altering. And the third one is altering heart rate, stroke volume, and the cardiac output. The mechanisms involved are, the mechanisms can be locally regulating, like nitric oxide and serotonin, which is going to cause vasoconstriction, whereas nitric oxide going to cause vasodilatation. The nervous mechanism, so the regulatory centers which are present in the medulla, and also the autonomic nervous system, and also the hormones, by hormones, both the short term and long term mechanisms, these hormonal mechanisms are involved. So what are the aims of neural regulation? So they help in the redistribution of the blood flow in the different tissues. They help in the reservoir capacity of the veins, and also they help in alteration of the blood pressure. So they are important for pumping action of the heart and controlling of the heart rate, and also cardiac output, and hence mean arterial pressure. So they have a less effect on local blood flow. So nervous regulation can takes place by controlling the heart and the blood vessels. Okay, so the heart is controlled by autonomic nervous system, your sympathetic division and parasympathetic division, where the sympathetic division is going to increase the blood pressure and by increasing the vasoconstriction, that can occur at the blood vessel level. Okay, so here mainly increases the contractility of the heart, whereas parasympathetic division, it decreases the contractile force of the heart. Okay, so medullary centers, which are situated in the very close to the respiratory centers. Okay, so here you have cardiovascular regulating the nuclei. Okay, so there are different nuclei, so where the cardioinhibitory area, importantly, it inhibits the cardiac activity by decreasing the heart rate and decreasing the force of contraction of the heart. Okay, whereas blood vessels, the ANS acts like it has a sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic, it mainly leads to vasoconstriction. In turns, it is going to increase the blood pressure, whereas the parasympathetic activity, it causes the vasodilatation and decreases the blood pressure in turn. Okay, so whereas the medullary centers, again you have three important centers. We have denoted them as C1, A1 and A2. Okay, so C1 acts mainly the cardiac inhibitory center. The A1, it acts as a vasomotor center, and A2, it acts as a sensory area. Okay, so where it is going to receive information from different receptors. Okay, so about especially the blood pressure from the aortic and carotid sinuses. Okay, and in turn uh, it it gives signals to vasomotor center and cardiac inhibitory center to decrease the blood pressure. Okay. About these centers, we are going to study in detail in next coming slides. So it is important to see what is the innervation of the heart by the autonomic nervous system. So sympathetic supply mainly comes from T1 to T5 segments, spinal segments. So usually the sympathetic nervous system, it origins from the intermediolateral horn cells in the spinal cord. Okay, from there the preganglionic fibers, they form the sympathetic trunk, superior, middle and inferior. They form the cervical ganglia. From cervical ganglia, uh, postganglionic fibers, which are unmyelinated, forms the cardiac nerve, and they're going to innervate the heart. I mean, where basically over the heart you have beta 1 type of receptors, okay, and the neurotransmitter produced will be in majority norepinephrine. These sympathetic fibers, they innervate the sinoatrial node and AVN, atrioventricular node, and Purkinje fibers and ventricular muscle fibers too. Okay. So the effect of sympathetic stimulation, it mainly increases the heart rate, that is called as positive chronotropic effect. It increases the conductivity in the heart, which is called as positive dromotrophic effect. It increases the contractility of the cardiac muscle by, and hence increases the force and the speed of the contraction, which is called as a positive inotropic. And also it increases the excitability of the muscle, which is called as bathmotropic effect. Parasympathetic supply to the heart mainly comes from two vagi, from the dorsal motor nucleus of the vagus. Okay, so preganglionic fibers here, they're very long and myelinated, and in vagus nerve the ganglion is in the atrial muscle, and they produce a hormone which is called as acetylcholine, and they have a nicotinic receptors. Postganglionic fibers, they are short and myelinated, they are very close to the site of the organ. They innervate SA node. The SA node is mainly innervated by the right vagus, and atrioventricular node mainly innervated by the left vagus. Okay, and the atrial muscles, they have muscarinic receptors. Remember that there is no vagal fibers to the ventricular muscle mass. What is the effect of vagal stimulation? It is exactly opposite to the sympathetic stimulation, that they decreases the heart rate, which is called as negative chronotropic effect. They decreases the conductivity, which is called as negative dromotrophic effect. They decreases the contractility of the heart, which is called as negative inotropic, and indirectly they decrease the force of contraction of the ventricles, because uh, because the decrease in the end-diastolic volumes. Vagal tone. So vagal tone is continuous vagal impulses that keeps the heart less than the rate of SA node, proved by cutting the vagi or blocking them with the atropine. So that means the intrinsic heart rate, when both the vagus and sympathetic nervous system is cut, is around 100 in a normal heart. So that is, the heart rate is 100 when both the vagus and sympathetic nervous system is cut. So this is called as intrinsic heart rate, our intrinsic heart rate. So how the vagal tone is generated? So there is no rhythmicity like vasomotor center for the vagal tone. So it depends on the continued discharge from the baroreceptors through 9th and 10th nerve, which stimulates the vagal nuclei. And if these vagal fibers are cut, then heart rate gets automatically increased. Okay. And so usually in athletes you have a very high vagal tone. Okay, so that has to be, noted. Vagal escape on a continuous stimulation of the vagus, initially it leads to stoppage of the heart, and then ventricle starts beating at slow rate because of the ventricles are not innervated by vagus, and it causes the generation of the idioventricular rhythm from the ventricles. Innervation of the peripheral vessels. Okay, so it is also important to know how the peripheral vessels are innervated. Okay, and upon activation they may lead to vasoconstriction or vasodilatation. Okay, so that is how it is going to regulate the cardiovascular system and the blood flow. So first, vasoconstriction, it is mainly done by the sympathetic nerves. I mean, as we discussed, sympathetic fibers, they mainly arises from T1 to L2. So, I mean, there is a continuous impulses from the vasomotor center from the medulla oblongata to all the vessels except for the cerebral vessels. Okay, and they are going to innervate all the segments of vascular system except for the capillaries. And this innervation is maximum to the arterioles where it forms the seat for peripheral resistance. They more supply to the large veins than the venule. Okay, so it helps in uh, the pushing of the some of the blood whenever there is a sympathetic stimulation to the systemic circulation. Okay. So neurotransmitter at the postganglionic fibers is norepinephrine. The vasodilator metabolites decrease the sympathetic tone and increase the blood flow. Okay. Uh, and vasoconstrictor fibers innervating veins increase venous return and the cardiac output. And it is really important for the short term regulation of the blood pressure and the blood flow. Vasodilatation can be achieved by four mechanisms. One is by decreasing the sympathetic vasoconstrictor tone, that is, for example, when you are exposed to heat, and also whenever baroreceptor are stimulated, so there will be decreased sympathetic vasoconstrictor tone, and this is called as baro receptor reflex. It is also called as Mary's reflex uh, or sinoaortic reflex, so which is important for regulation of the blood pressure by short term regulation. Okay, so then the vasodilatation can also be because of the sympathetic cholinergic vasodilator fibers. Okay, so that are mainly in the muscles, skeletal muscles, heart, lungs, and liver. So these fibers originate in the frontal cortex, relay in hypothalamus, pass through medulla, and end on uh, intermediate lateral horn of the spinal cord. Okay, and these are going to, I mean, increase the blood flow to the skeletal muscles whenever there is, uh, when you are doing exercise, where there is an increase in sympathetic tone, sympathetic vasodilator fibers, they are going to increase the blood flow to the skeletal muscles. Right. Then you have a parasympathetic vasodilator fibers which are supplying to external genitalia, mainly from the sacral segments. They leads to vasodilatation. And axon reflex is also one of the mechanism where there can be vasodilatation. So here in axon reflex there is a antidromic conduction of the impulses. So whenever there is a injury occurs over the skin, okay, so the sensory fibers carry the impulses, and some of the collaterals they are going to innervate uh, the blood vessels, and they causes vasodilatation by releasing the substance P, and this is called as axon reflex. Okay, so coming to medullary centers, so these centers are present in the medulla oblongata. They regulate the autonomic nervous system output, and they act as a major integrative center for the cardiovascular responses. Okay, so vasomotor centers, there are three types: vasoconstrictor area, which we call it as a C1, vasodilator area, and the sensory area A2. Okay, so which is nucleus of tractus solitarius. Okay, so sensory area, or nucleus tractus solitarius. It acts as uh, a sensory nucleus. So this is going to receive the information from the various uh, uh, vessels of our body. So importantly, the aortic and carotid vessels. These in turn, they're going to send information to the vasoconstrictor area or vasodilator area. So depending on whatever the sensory information tractus solitarius gets. So whenever there is an increased blood pressure, like in baroreceptors, it is going to inhibit the vasoconstrictor area and it is going to facilitate the vasodilator area and thus reduces the blood pressure. So which is called as, synoaortic reflex or baroreceptor reflex. Okay, so this is how all the centers, they are located in the medulla. Vasomotor area, I mean, so the parasympathetic nervous system acts through the vagus to the heart, sympathetic is through the spinal cord to the blood vessels and heart. I mean, these vasomotor area is located in the medulla and also in the pons. So three areas, vasoconstrictor area anterolaterally in the upper part of the medulla. I mean, there is a tonic discharge to the sympathetic neurons supplying the blood vessels, which is responsible for maintaining the blood pressure. The transection of the spinal cord results in gross hypotension. Vasodilator area, it has, I mean, depressive activity of C1 and it causes vasodilatation. And the sensory area, which is situated posterolaterally, which is nothing but the nucleus of tractus solitarius, solitarius reflexly controls the activity of C1 and A1. And it is important for a reflex control. So what are the factors that are going to affect these vasomotor center? Okay, usually the respiratory centers, they are stimulatory, and aortic and carotid baroreceptors, they are inhibitory to these vasomotor centers. The cardiopulmonary baroreceptors, again, they are inhibitory to these vasomotor centers. Ascending proprioceptive pathways, they excite these vasomotor center and increase the heart rate. The lungs via vagus, they are inhibitory nature on the vasomotor center. The limbic cortex via hypothalamus is always excitatory to these vasomotor centers. So this is in brief about how the cardiovascular system is regulated. Thank you.